This conference will now be
Okay,
recorded.
well, I think that means that we are now officially up and running. Matthew, looks like you have joined us. Welcome. Good to
I
have you
have.
here.
Thank you.
Matthew, I'll have you introduce yourself to everybody here in just a couple minutes.
Sure.
We like to get these calls started by just doing a quick roundtable to say what is going on in your business this week, good, bad, or indifferent. And Jason, you were the first one on the call. Tell us what's happening in your world.
So far, I just have one listing. It's the lot for a friend of mine. We got a lot of competition. I've had a few calls, and I'm hosting an open house this week. So that's basically all I've got.
Okay, I wasn't catching all that, but I think you said a new listing with the couple showings.
Correct.
Okay, all right, very good. Well, in my experience in a normal market, it takes about 10 showings to generate an offer. But in this market, that number is being stretched. Uh, so you want to rack up those early showings as quickly as possible. But congratulations on the new listing. Hey, Cheryl, what's up in your world?
I'm still trying to sell that property, that house out in Magnolia.
Okay.
Last weekend I did an open house Saturday and Sunday, and it's the first time since I listed it there was zero traffic.
Okay. All right.
So I'm trying to figure out what reinvent the wheel. So I called all the listing agents that have properties in that neighborhood, and we're all gonna do at Sunday an open house all at the same time. So there's about 10 of us that are gonna do open houses at the same time,
Yes.
and we're gonna help each other direct traffic.
Yep. This is the time to do that. I mean, we
So
got to dig deep and do some creative things to build
yeah,
traffic.
and I just thought, let's pair up, or let's help each other. It's a win-win. Whoever gets a
Yes.
so.
So along that line, I did something last weekend I'd never done before, and that is host a 5-hour open house.
Wow.
It was crazy. I did it specifically because the property is rented. The tenant is not allowing showings. There's no permission in the lease agreement to permit showings. And so we got her to agree to one day we could have an open house. So
Okay.
it was 5 hours. Bob, thank your soul. He came midday and relieved me for an hour so I could go get some Chinese food for lunch, and then he stuck around for another hour. Only had 2 people come the whole time in 5 hours, and I had promoted it aggressively. Had lots of signs out, but that it is a sign of the times. But
Frank, are you seeing that it's taking longer? I'm talking to other agents for even from other brokerage, and they're all saying there's not getting a lot of traffic in homes on the weekend lately.
So I had a really terrible luck with my big one last week, but the couple weeks before that, I had held multiple open homes on a Saturday and Sunday, doing them for 1 hour apiece, and I was getting decent traffic to those.
Okay.
But those were in a different part of town. Those were up north. My 5-hour open house was down in the Champions area, which is a little bit rougher neighborhood, may
Yeah.
not be as attractive. So I'm going back to the 1 hour open houses and trying to stack up several at one time. And
Okay.
the way to do that is to have a partner where you start like at noon, and then at 12:30 I'll leave for the next open house, and then she'll stay close up the first one, and then she'll arrive at the next one usually about halfway through it, and either I or she will go on and start the next one.
Clever.
um,
Okay.
it really worked well.
Okay.
uh, so that's going to be my new approach, particularly when your listings are close enough that you can do that. All right. Well,
Hey,
thank you,
Frank.
Cheryl. Mandy, what's going on in Tennessee?
Oh, well, no, I want to ask, comment on Cheryl. Since y'all are doing 10 agents, what we've done before is, say, for example, if all 10 of you are going to get together and do a showing, you call it a scavenger hunt or whatever. So they just have a piece of paper with all 10 showings, and then whoever shows up gets in a drawing for $25. So
Yep.
each agent just puts in like $25. So you
Yep.
have 10 people that you'll give $25 to, because each agent will purchase one and pick someone out of the pool. And that helped us so much because we all got together and did that. People were so excited, and you have to check the box, like all of them are on there, and you have to visit each one, and then you turn it into the last one. And then all of you will, share the, and you just talk about sharing, whoever's name. If there are 20 people that showed up and there's 5 of you, each of you just take a couple.
Exactly.
As a lead. So
Yeah.
that's kind of how we did it.
Yep. That's what we did.
Yep, that sounds like a vendor strategy, Cheryl, that you've
Yes,
used.
it was.
Yes, yes. Okay, thank you, Mandy. That's great advice.
you.
All right, Bob, Velvet, and who else do we have here? Oh, Mr. Wynn, welcome. Good to have all of you here. What's going on in your business this week? First come, first serve. Trung, looks like your mic is on. Why don't you take it away?
So we have a closing coming up next week, so I'm excited about that. The property they list for $1.5 million, and a lot next door for $250. We were able to negotiate for 1.2, so closing on the 15.
Okay.
And then I have another listing coming up next week, also in Fenswood. So if anybody want to do an open house, let me know. It's gonna go on the market on Monday.
Okay. All right. That sounds great, Trung. Good work on the new listing. Velvet, what's going up in the hinterlands?
We had 2 closings this week, which was great. Went under contract on another one yesterday. Thought it was very interesting that my 2 top preferred inspectors were booked. Could not get us in until next week. So we went to the, I thought that was very, very interesting. So I don't know what that says in particular, but maybe that things are heating up a little bit. And
Boy,
so
I hope so. We're gonna call it that. Things are heating up. All right. Good work, Velvet. This is a great report. Bob, what's up in your world?
Nut and honey.
Nut and honey. You'll make me hungry.
I'm hoping to get my price reduced on this listing I've got that's way overpriced, and I think they're realizing basically
Yes.
we've got to get more aggressive on it. In fact, I talked to the sales lady on the home they're buying, new construction home, and we're going to kind of hit them from both angles, but I think they already know it and understand it. And I should be getting a listing, I hope, this weekend. It's a longtime family friend. He and his partner purchased this home. It's been on the market, over 200 days. It shouldn't have. It's very nice looking home. The photographs are terrible. The verbiage is terrible.
Yeah.
I went through it all and just told him, and apparently his partner wants to try to resolve with that agent, which
Yes.
he really wants to use me, switch over. So we'll see
Yes.
what happens, but I'm
Yes.
hoping to.
So I picked up one of those listings like that earlier this year. It had been on the market at 6 months without selling. This was way up in Huntsville. It wasn't even in my primary market. So my friend took it away, gave it to me. I looked at the listing, discovered that they had understated the square footage by 1,000 square feet.
Oh.
All I did was correct the square footage. I had an offer within 48 hours and multiple people begging to be able to submit offers. It just changed everything. It changed the price per square foot. It changed obviously the value of the property. So study it closely.
So important. That happened to me years ago. I had a listing that the tax record showed 1,040 square feet. It was 1,750 square feet.
Yes.
So if you just default to the square footage, I'm walking the house and there's no way there's 1,000 square feet.
Yes.
And it was also a second time listing. And
Yes.
same thing, I corrected it I had them have a square footage appraisal, came in, boy, we sold it in no time.
Yes.
So,
Yep. So watch those,
wait,
particularly when you're picking up, when you're the second realtor, study that listing carefully. It might have been be a small factor like that. So, well, since our last conversation last Friday, let's see, I took a new listing on Sunday. I negotiated the repairs today, so that one's going to get through the option period and head down the road. I'm going to sign a new listing agreement this afternoon in Splendora. And I was notified this week that my sales are over 11 million for the year. I've been telling you I'm having a good year despite everything else that's going on in my life, which is all good this year, all good, but there's so much going on. Praise God. And still the sales are just continuing to chug along. In fact, I've got 2 listing appointments this afternoon. One of them, I'm actually going to sign documents. The other one, the guy called me and said, I want you to come list my house. But I haven't met with him yet. I've never even met him in person. So hopefully that's going to turn into a listing here within the next week. So people are still buying and selling. And to the extent that we're out there amongst the people, we're increasing our chances of getting their business. So let me introduce my new friend, Matthew. Matthew and I have talked a couple of times by phone and by Zoom. We haven't met face to face yet. But I was introduced to Matthew by Stephanie Garrett. And I'm not sure how their paths crossed, but by the way, I'm meeting with Stephanie this afternoon, who is having a recruiting prospect to join us, who is known to all of us and was with us a number of years ago. So she's very interested in how things are going at EXP and maybe joining us for the first time. So super excited about that. But Matthew, I'm going to let you introduce yourself and tell us why I wanted you on this call.
Yeah, absolutely. First off, thank you for having me. Also, Robin Winans, I think.
It was Robin.
It was Robin. Yeah, it was. No worries, nonetheless. I'm like, I don't know, Stephanie. But obviously, my name is Matthew Walker. I'm local to the Montgomery market. I'm in Wood Forest, so I'm not too far from you guys. I come from Washington State, but I spend most of my time on the agent attraction side of this business. And I don't know how closely you guys pay attention to the programs that EXP as a company have rolled out, but they've got some co-sponsorship opportunities. I operate within my organization to help teach agents how to have this conversation. And so because of what EXP's rolled out in terms of co-sponsorship, it allows me to reach out and partner with other EXP agents everywhere and basically become a recruiter for and with you. And so how I spend my time every Monday for our organization, I run a call where agents will hop on. They'll send me names and phone numbers to dial for them. I'll set those agent attraction appointments up. I'll attend those appointments. We'll go through our value proposition and we'll do what we can to onboard those agents for my entire organization, whether they're in my direct downline or not. And so that's how I spend that time. I find that most people have a desire to do some agent attraction. How many of you guys fall into that category where you'd like to take advantage of the revenue share side of the business, but aren't necessarily doing that right now? And I usually find that most people feel like they don't necessarily know what to say. They don't want to come across salesy. They've got enough going on in their transactional business that frankly, they haven't carved out the time to do it. Or they just feel like they really are, they don't want to be super salesy to these people, right? Nobody got their license to become a recruiter. Well, fortunately for you guys, I really love doing that. And so my goal and desire would be to partner with you guys, maybe even have some conversation about who you know that you want to reach out to. I'd love to make those calls for you while you are on like a Zoom call or this go-to. I want to do that on speaker so that you can hear both sides of that conversation and then do what I can to help you build out your downline that way, if that makes sense. Is that overly complicated or super confusing to anybody? Okay, it's pretty simple. I'd like to think I'm a pretty simple guy. And frankly, I've got a pretty straightforward approach. But I'd also like to just kind of, ask frankly, how would you, I guess what's the best way for me to get involved with you guys and kind of start this process with you?
So Matthew, I know what's going through the mind of my friends here. They're thinking to get a guy like you, your talents and abilities on board is going to cost so much money, and money's tight right now. How could we possibly afford your services?
Yeah, that's a great question, Frank. And guys, the co-sponsorship program at EXP gives me the opportunity to do this for people completely free of charge. Because we're co-sponsoring, and everything that EXP does for us as the agents, right? They're looking after our bottom line. If you guys understand the revenue share structure, it is 100% revenue share for both sponsor and co-sponsor, and so it gives me the opportunity to do that. That heavy lifting for you guys. This is going to cost you nothing but time and, frankly, trust and relationship. Because what I'm asking is for you to allow me to call the people that are in your sphere that you haven't talked to. And frankly, you guys don't know me from Adam. And so there may be some disconnect. You may go like, hey, who the heck is this guy? I don't know him. Don't trust him to make these calls for me. I'll just put it on the back burner and do it when I'm ready. What I would like to do is maybe try to ease some of that tension for you one way or another. And frankly, I think the best way for me to do that is just to put my money where my mouth is. And so I would challenge you, if you've not already, write down the names of, let's call it 10 agents that you know that you want to call. Maybe keep some of those close relationships close to the chest at first, but allow me to make some calls for people you've done transactions with. People who aren't necessarily in your direct sphere, but I want you to hear me making these calls on your behalf and see if it's something that you're comfortable implementing into your business plan, if that makes sense, right? So I would just ask you to trust me enough with those and just know that my goal is to grow my revenue share. And in the co-sponsorship, that makes my goal to grow your revenue share, if that makes sense, right? So I would just say, let's get if I could give you some homework, I would just say put together a list of, like I said, maybe 5 to 10 agents that you think you want to start with. And then we can schedule some time either as a group or even individually, so long as it fits in my calendar. We can spend some time one-on-one doing that. And then you guys can get a feel for whether or not this is something you want to actually pick up and run with.
So Matthew, I'll give everybody else a chance to ask in a moment, but I would love for you to talk about some of the unique value propositions that you and your team bring. Why somebody would be responsive to you more so than someone else?
Yeah, so I've got some really strong partnerships. My direct sponsor is a gal named Michelle Wilson. If you guys have ever been to any of the Build conferences or any of the One Big Fire conferences that Brent Gove throws, any of those events, Michelle's a regular speaker at those events. She's got an organization of just over 700 and some odd agents. So she's got a fairly sizable organization. Like I said, I'm responsible for helping coach those guys on the agent attraction conversation. But we run somewhere in the ballpark of 35 hours of additional live training one way or another outside of what EXP has to offer. So every single morning, Monday through Friday, we're running a hardcore sales gym for people who want to learn how to prospect, right? That's probably not everybody's cup of tea. How many of you guys actually hit the phones? Right. I'm seeing 0 hands go up, right? It's not everybody's cup of tea. Most people don't like it. We train on it because it's the basics and it's the best way that we know to help agents get business right away. And we do that every single day, every single Tuesday of the week. We bring in a top producer from across the country to share practical, real life skills on what they're doing. Greg Harrelson, based out of the Carolinas, has got Century 21 offices. So we branch outside of EXP to bring in top producers to share with us what they're doing, right? We've got agents who are closing $1 million a year GCI through just their sphere. We have them come on, walk us through their exact process. And it isn't like, hey, this is what I'm doing, go figure it out. This is what I'm doing. This is the exact document that I'm using. This is what I'm walking them through for their buyer consultation. This is my listing presentation. Have it, go implement it into your business. So we run seller mastery, buyer mastery, lead generation tools, how to get a VA. We've actually got partners that will help you find a VA, train that VA, and implement them into your business. So this is on top of everything that EXP offers as a company, and you still have all of the value proposition and tools that you have access to here with Frank and the Abby team, right? So you've got everything that you're currently running, plus everything that we're doing. And what I'd like to do too, Frank, is actually just share that email that I sent out to you
Yes, please.
with your team, and just show you guys exactly what it is that you have access to bolt on to your business. I want to give you guys practical tools to grow your revenue share, because if we can do that together, we both win. Selfishly, I want to grow, and the best way I can do that is by helping you do that, if that makes sense.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so I would love if you guys would do me a solid. If you want to take a look at the value proposition as we have it, and see the visual of that, just so you guys can get an understanding of who it is we are that you guys would be partner with. What's the best way to get me your email address? In fact, if you can throw it in this chat, I'll literally just copy and paste it into my inbox, and I'll get that email out to you here shortly. Or Frank, if you've got just an email list, I'll send that to you.
Yeah, you bet.
Perfect. We'll get that out. And then I'd like to also, I want to give you guys my phone number. And if you want to call me and have some time one-on-one, asking about kind of how this is going to work, and we can set some time up, by all means, please do that. In fact, I'll throw my number in the chat here right now. And then for those of you with pen in hand, my number is area code 253-844-1103. I'm going to copy these emails here. And what I'm going to send you guys is it's an email. It's literally just a weekly calendar of events. So our kind of event coordinator, if you will, sends out this email every single week to let us know what's coming up. Most of it stays the same. Every week they just alter who it is that's going to be on our masterclass call for that Tuesday. And then that Breakfast Club training is very intense for those of you who have any kind of desire to get better at prospecting, or even want to use that as a tool to attract agents. I'll give you the login and password to that. That password changes on a bi-weekly basis. But I want you guys to just poke around and take a look at this thing. Ask whatever questions you have, and then let's find some ways to just partner up and go grow together.
Any of y'all have questions for Matthew?
I have a question. So 3 questions. What is your conversion rate? How many agents are you aiming to do this for? And will you be at EXPCon?
I will not be at EXPCon. I'll start with that. Conversion rate from, I guess I'll start with the call itself. Conversion rate's probably somewhere in the ballpark of 30% from initial contact to setting that appointment. Show rates on agent. Have you spent much time on the agent attraction side of the business? Okay. Show rates for really solid appointments, you're talking probably somewhere in the ballpark of 65%. And then of those, we're usually talking about 50% conversion to a second or third call. And at the end of the day, you're probably going to land, let's call it 1 out of 10 of those appointments. It's a numbers game, much like, a prospecting or, listing appointments, right? Buyer consultations. Anybody do online lead generation?
Yeah.
Okay, online leads, notorious that, those conversion rates, if you're talking about 2% at best, maybe 3%, it requires a ton of time on the phones. Agents are usually the same way. It's a little higher. And by the way, when you're prospecting for, I come from Mike Ferry background, which is very much hardcore 8 to noon prospecting. You're listing appointments in the afternoon, right? So that's I'm used to being on the phones. When I'm calling canceled expireds or for sale by owners, or whatever, absentee owners, the number of people who are angry on those calls super high. Right. So it deters people from picking up the phone to call other agents. But what I think sometimes we forget is the agents are usually much more friendly. Now, you'd be surprised at how many of them won't pick up their phone, which is absolutely crazy. But the conversation is so very easy. I compare it to this all the time. You guys see motorcycles pass each other down the road and like they wave to each other. That's the conversation with agent attraction, right? People are calling as long as you're friendly about it and pretty forward. You're gonna have great conversations. Nobody wants bad relationships in their marketplace. I don't want to call somebody up and burn a bridge over agent attraction. That's not my goal here. I'm not trying to leave a bad taste in anybody's mouth about EXP as a company or me as a broker, right? And I don't want that. I want good relationships. But like I said, that the call significantly easier to have once you know what to say. And then as far as conversion rate, it's really probably 1 to 10 in terms of appointments. Yeah. Any other questions? Did I miss anything in there, by the way?
So that sounds good, Matt. That's a good introduction. What I want to do is I'm going to send a message out to all the Avi team agents and let them know that I'm going to share their contact information with you and expect to hear from you by email or by phone.
Okay.
Because I do think what you're doing is extremely valuable and addresses a need that we have on our team, because we have struggled with attraction. And it sounds like you and your team have got it dialed in, and under the EXP co-sponsoring arrangement, which I didn't even know about till Matthew called and explained it to me, there's no reason that we shouldn't be partnering with you and getting our growth headed in the right direction.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
how I feel about it.
I couldn't agree more. And it really is a shame that more people don't know about it or understand that co-sponsorship. But one of my absolute favorite things about this company is that everything they do is agent centric. It is, how do we help the agents put more money in their pocket? How do we help the agents actually grow and partner? And it's just it's one of my favorite things. I absolutely love it. And so with this co-sponsorship program, given what I do, I just saw that there was a perfect opportunity to start connecting with people. And frankly, I thought about it on accident. I made a dial to somebody. I was calling to for my agent attraction business, and they were already with EXP. And I thought, man, I wish I could have partnered with you because I really love who you are. And for whatever reason, I just had a light bulb. I'm like, hey, you know what? I already do this for my organization. With a co-sponsorship opportunity, why don't I just go find people who want to grow, aren't taking full advantage of it, but everybody's got a network of people. Everybody's got their own sphere, right? And the same goes in our business. You guys, if you've been in the business long, this is probably not the very first place you ever hung your license. You've got a catalog of names and phone numbers of people that you've done business with, been at other brokerages with, know in your sphere outside of those things that you would want to call. And maybe you're nervous to do that. I don't know anybody who got their license to become a recruiter, right? I know everybody who got their license to sell real estate. And if we can partner your desire to go do that with my desire and without tooting my horn, the skill set to convert these conversations into appointments, I think we've got an idea that can really win.
Okay.
Yeah.
Matthew, are the percentages different for the co-sponsor? And if so, who takes first position and who takes second?
Yeah, so that's a great question. They are not. In fact, one of the things that I'll send you that you'll see is a link that explains that co-sponsorship program. It is the percentages are the exact same. In terms of who takes the primary sponsor and who takes co-sponsor, there's a couple of ways to do that. in the case where you guys want to rely heavily on the additional value proposition of what we run, that would be a scenario where I would take primary sponsorship, you would take co-sponsorship. But again, I want to emphasize this. The revenue share structure is the same regardless. It's 100% revenue share. So you're not giving up half of your revenue share. You're not giving up. The way that they run this is that the co-sponsor, the co-sponsor space, the revenue share does not flow up line, if that makes sense. Okay, so you'll see this in the video that I send out. It will explain this pretty well. If you have do you have a pretty firm grasp on the revenue share structure, FLA, FLQA, that whole concept? So the only difference is that with the co-sponsor, the agent you brought on is your tier 2 instead of your tier 1, but they still qualify for your FLQA count. Okay, so that's the only difference. Everything other than that is 100% sponsorship. So there's a number of different ways to do it. If you want, to be the primary sponsor, if you got concerns about that, you want to be primary sponsor, you're not concerned about using the additional value proposition, that's totally fine by me. Makes zero difference to my day, because at the end of the day, it's another co-sponsor for me. I'm going to grow anyway. Okay, so it's almost 6 in one, half dozen in the other, if that makes sense. But you'll see it in that video that'll explain that. And if you've got questions about that, we can dig into it for sure.
Okay. All right, Matt. Thank you so much. You're welcome to hang out. We're going to spend about another 15 minutes on the call and talk about becoming the notoriously famous agent with the people that we want to work with. All right.
Absolutely. I love it.
Appreciate you being here. All right. So I promoted this call this morning by talking about making you the go-to person, the real estate expert with the people that you want to work with by becoming a published author. Now, how many of you all have written a book already? Published a book? Okay. And nobody? Okay. Let me show you something here. Let's see. All right. Who remembers this book? 1 year, 6 figures. This was my first book. And then I just got 2 cases of books yesterday on my second book, which I'm super excited about. And they continue to get better. I'm already on the 4th edition of that book. And I'm going to be publishing it with a new title and a new cover in December. So I'm working on getting it improved and ready. Here's what writing a book and publishing a book will do for you that is more important, honestly, than being a top producer. It's more important than being on the radio. It's more important than being on television. There is something about being a published author that gives you credibility with people you've not met like nothing else. It establishes you as an authority in your field. Now, I know it sounds intimidating to write a book. And let me say, if you're going to write a 200-page book about how to take a brand new agent and get to 6 figures in 1 year, that might be a little intimidating. If it weren't for COVID, I might not have written that book. We were literally stuck at home for weeks at a time, and I used that time to write. But do you know that you can write a book this afternoon? You can write a complete book this afternoon. Or you could have a complete book written for you this afternoon. There are actually books already written that you can purchase, and you would be the author of that book. They do this in the real estate space all the time. And it could be everything from how to prepare your house to sell to 2025 design trends by Velvet McWhirter, and your name is on the cover, your photograph and bio are on the back. These are already written books that you can publish, but you can go to Fiverr.com. Okay, now we're really getting AI. You can go to ChatGPT, and it will write a book for you. You give it the title, you give it the theme, you tell it a little bit about your personality, maybe you give it a few chapter headings, and it will write the book for you. Okay? Have we made it as easy as we possibly can? Now, no, ChatGPT did not write either one of my books, and it's not going to write my future books. I already know where I'm going as an author. But the point is, when I wrote my books, I had a different objective. I wasn't trying to build my reputation. I am truly trying to help people in the areas where I write books based upon my unique experiences and thoughts and perspectives. But what I'm sharing with you this morning is that if your purpose is to become a recognized real estate authority in your neighborhood or in your community or with your sphere of influence, with people that you're already reaching out to, attempting to do business with, perhaps clients and customers, there's no quicker way to establish your credibility than to let the world know that you are a published author. It can go on your resume, it can go in your personal brochure, it can go in your email signature line, and you can even get it published on Amazon. There's huge credibility with saying, even with my brand new book, it's on Amazon, it's on Barnes and Noble, it's on Lulu. You can order it from any of these sites, and it is so easy to do that these days. In my case, with my newest book, I did pay a third party $500 to do all the typesetting, professional proof reading, to do the cover design, and to get it formatted for submission to all the major publishing sites, and then to make the submissions. All that was $500. It was absolutely crazy. It's so cheap these days to do this. What it means is, once you publish your book, if you want to go speak to the local Lions Club or the Rotary Club or the Kiwanis Club, or you want to go speak at, or say you want to put together your own event, perhaps at your neighborhood clubhouse or at the private dining room at your favorite restaurant, you can now host an event promoting yourself as offering a free workshop explaining the principles described in your most recently Amazon published book. This is how people in every industry for the last 100 years have built a reputation and made fortunes. It goes back even before book publishing was as easy as it is to do today. People who did it the hard way made fortunes doing this. I'm talking about people like Dale Carnegie. You remember that name? How to Win Friends and Influence People. Okay, here's one. Ron Popeil. Anybody remember him? The guy who mastered the TV pitch for everything you can imagine. Or George Foreman. He's the only one of those three who I don't think didn't write a book about it. But the other two wrote books on salesmanship or products before they got these larger multimedia stages. Let's talk about it for just a moment. If you were to write a book, and let's keep it on real estate related, because our purpose here is to establish you as the real estate authority with the people that you want to do business with. What is a subject that you would like to see your name under as the author? Where would you like to be personally? Is there some passion that you have in the real estate space that you'd like to write a book about, if you had time and capacity to do so? What would it be?
For me, I think buying a home.
Okay, there we go.
I've got my 42-page document that I provide buyers, which kind of
Yes.
goes through the whole process from soup to nuts, all the way to packing and preparing for the move.
Okay, so home buying made easy, home buying for dummies, home
Yeah.
buying 101. You could upload that 42-page document into ChatGPT and say, turn this into a publishable book. And it would do so. Cheryl, what about you? I saw your mic. What subject would you want to publish on?
Staging.
Staging your home to sell. How about that?
Simple.
Your
To
home
the
to sell
point.
for more money in less time. How about
Yeah.
staging your home with furniture you've already got stored in your garage? Okay. Staging your home on $500 or less. I mean,
I like that.
just start thinking about this. Why don't people stage more frequently and get the benefits of it, and then address that in your book?
Okay.
All right, Trung, what would you publish a real estate book on?
Would do how to invest in properties and tax defer investment.
Okay, very good. So, have you ever done an internet search on that subject, Trung?
No.
Okay, do you right now, could you sit down if you had the time? Do you have the knowledge and expertise to write that book?
Yes.
You do. Okay. So what I would suggest, because I mean, that's ideal if you are truly an expert in that area, like Cheryl on staging, put some chapter headings together, put some, kind of do an outline on it, and then upload that to ChatGPT and have it fill in underneath. You're going to have the right to go back and edit that and make it your personality and put in your special knowledge and expertise. But let ChatGPT do 80% of the heavy lifting, and it takes this, what seemingly impossible mountain you've got to climb, shrinks it down to a little hill. Okay, did I see another hand up? Who's got a book they're anxious to write? So here's the deal. Again, it's easy to write it. You can all have a book written by this afternoon. In some cases, in just a few minutes. Okay, it's not that difficult. And then all you have to do is Google how to self-publish my own book. And there are so many ways to do it. It's so simple to do it. You can get people to format it for you for $20. ChatGPT will format it for you for free. And you can tell it, I want to publish a book on Amazon, so format my book in an Amazon acceptable format, because Amazon has rules about how it all has to be done. And it can all be done for you for free. But think about it. If you just started doing this, even if you never had them professionally printed, okay, these could be ebooks, which are actually super easy to distribute to your sphere of influence. And now, if you just did one a week, and literally you could come up with one fully ready ebook in an hour, but spend an hour once a week for the next 12 weeks. And you would then have a library of books that you could send out to your clients. For example, you're about to go on a listing conversation, and before you get there, you send the client your ebook that you've authored on how to prepare your home to sell. When you arrive, you are already positioned as the expert. And it would make a bigger impression to have it delivered to their home in print. But again, you would have to pay a few dollars for that. By the way, do you know my latest book, which is how long? It's 221 pages long, color cover. Guess what I just paid for these? 221 pages. $5 a piece from Amazon. Because even though they're sold on Amazon for $15 a piece, I can order author copies for $5. Think of the impression that you can make on the people that you want to do business with by presenting them. By the way, I'm doing that with this book. I'm giving this book, which is a Christian book, to all my clients, right? But they know who I am. I'm very open about who I am. You could give them a book on landscaping or on pottery or anything. If you're the author of it, just give it as a personal gift. So even if you have a hobby outside real estate, I'm encouraging you, publish a book on it. Become known as an expert in something. You all know my passion for beekeeping. If I still had a space for my bees, I'd publish a book on beekeeping, and then I would give it with a jar of honey to all my sellers at closing and all my buyers at closing. It just makes a unique impression that I don't think is possible in any other way. And at the sands of time, we're about to go through the hourglass, so I'm just going to very quickly recommend a book that you might want to purchase, and it's called Speak to Sell by Dan Kennedy. I bought this several years ago, and I haven't even started to touch the potential gold mine that's in this. Dan Kennedy is one of the most famous circuit speakers in the country. You know, he's on the stage with all the big names. He used to travel with Zig Ziglar, if that gives you any clue. But he talks in here about the importance of becoming a published author and then leveraging that to build audiences that you speak to, because his whole thing is, instead of selling to one, we sell to many. We sell to many. So it's talking about leverage. So instead of just making one new client, we can have 10 or 20 or potentially 30 new clients in the same amount of time. It's all about leverage. Today's conversation is about leverage. And with modern technology, it is so easy. Okay, that's what I wanted to hopefully encourage you to action on today. Bob, did you want to jump in here?
No, I just had a question, and we may not have time for it. I just wanted to ask ChatGPT. You say just upload chat. How do you actually access ChatGPT to upload anything?
Oh, that's so awesome. Yeah, just Google it, ChatGPT. It'll take you to the ChatGPT website, and there's a window right on the home page. It basically says, what do you want to do? And you can just type in.
It's super easy, Bob, to use.
Ask any question. It doesn't matter. It will have a response to anything. You can upload stuff to it, just like you would upload to any other online site, just like we upload our real estate documents into SkySlope, and it will take your document and manipulate it in any way that you want done. It will put it to music. If you want a music track behind your real estate listing presentation, it can do anything you ask it to do.
Okay.
It really is a brave new world. And if you haven't explored all the illustrations in my new book, and there's over 100 original illustrations in here. I have them for every story. It has a new illustration. Every one of them, they're all AI generated, not all through ChatGPT. I used about 3 different AI sources, but it literally takes about 60 seconds. And I generally get exactly what I want on the second or third try. It'll generate an image, and I'll say, take out the shading, add a hat, put 2 little girls in there. Whatever I ask it to do, by the second or third time, within 5 minutes, I have a publishable image. So it really is amazing. So there we go. And I realize I feel like I've just dumped a whole load of hay on you here at the end, but hopefully I'm going to get the wheels turning. And when we get together next week, some of y'all are going to hold up your first published book. Wouldn't that be amazing? Or upload the e-version into the chat. That would be amazing. Okay, guys, I'm available if you need me. I got appointments all day. I've taken some listings. I'm selling some houses, but that's what we love doing. So appreciate y'all being here. And Matt, appreciate you. Appreciate what you're going to do for all of us in growing our attraction business.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to working with you guys.
Okay. All right.
All right,
God
enjoy
bless. Let me know if I
Everyone
can
have a
help.
wonderful week.
Okay. You too, Cheryl. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.